Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for Ask Miko Anything. So, you know what? I kind of realized this session, I have the intention when I put it together was dedicated specifically to serve you guys. Like, I wanted to do like a live Q&A, or I can just show up and kind of hang out with whoever tunes in and whoever has a question. But then I realized that every time I come on here to do this 4 p.m. PST live stream, I kind of just started talking. So I'm just gonna give it some time and see if anyone tunes in today. If not, I'm just gonna talk and kind of give some value, but I'll give it like a couple seconds. All right. I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe people are going back to work now. Haven't been getting as much engagements on the live stream, but that's okay. There's one person. Is it I don't know how to say your name correctly. Is it Gana? I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. But anyways, all right. So as people are coming in, just making sure this live stream's intention is really, if you have any questions at all about life, about business, about happiness, about relationship, just pop that in the comments below. But if not, I'm just gonna go ahead and riff for a little bit. So first of all, I want to ask you guys this question. What did you feed yourself with today? Like, no, I'm not talking about the food that you ate. I'm not talking about the water that you drank, but what kind of information that you fed your mind today? I was just on a ton of amazing training calls. I had a coaching call with one of my mentors in the morning, Billy, and I tuned into one of his interview that he did live, and just fed my mind with so much good stuff that I'm just feeling so good right now. And Billy actually mentioned something about like there's a syndrome going on right now called infobesity. Infobesity meaning that we are just so bombarded with information that it's constantly coming into our mind, and a lot of the times that information is not actually healthy, right? Just looking at, like, if we're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, that's feeding your mind with information, and a lot of times our news feed is not always super good for the health of our mental health, right? So really ask yourself, like, think back on today. What was I looking at today? What was I listening today? What was I watching today? Was it good for where I want my life to be headed towards, or is it not so much? It's like holding me back, and everything that you put into your mind matters. So I want to talk about this whole idea of like what's going on right now. Like, there's just so much anger and there's so much frustration, and totally valid, like 100%. I acknowledge the anger, acknowledge the frustration. I really respect like whatever people are feeling, like, but it's a fact that there is so much going on right now. But if we can all, even if one of you started the day with meditation with my daughter, it was amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. That's amazing. Like, I love hearing people like you. Thank you for sharing. Like, and then there's Karen from Australia who shared with me this the other day. Like, you guys have such a beautiful relationship with your daughter. Like, I wish I have this with my mom. I mean, we have such a language barrier, and like her mindset and my mindset is like totally complete opposite, right? Like, I wish I can meditate with her. I wish I can go for walks with her. But anyways, like, we have our own kind of like mother-daughter love, but that's amazing. I love that. So okay, going back to what I was saying, if we can all kind of remember back to this inherent truth, like this was actually shared with me by my mentor Billy today, and imagine a tree, right? We all know what a tree is. We all know what it looks like. There's tree trunks, branches kind of just blooming from the same trunk, and then there's like the roots going down into the soil, right? The foundation. If we can remember that that's the same exact concept when it comes to humanity, we all came from the same source. Like, we all came from the same source, and we are each of us are just like a unique expression of humanity. We are each just like one of the branches on the same tree. We came from the same tree of life, right? If we understand that, if we remember that, like there would be none of those like hate, none of those like arguments, none of those like fighting against each other going on right now. If we just remember what we are, the source of where we all came from, right? Like we've been so conditioned and we've been so taught, and I don't blame any of you guys. Like this was intentionally built into us by like comparison. Like we've been conditioned and trained to compare us with others from the day that we were born. Like others, like you have to be better than others, like you have to be at the top in order to get the best things this life has to offer, right? We've been taught to compete, we've been taught to compare, we've been taught to think that me versus them, like we just been taught that we were separate, right? And this were the mentality that we grew up in. So now we kind of just so far disconnected from the truth of really what we are, which is at the end of the day, we all came from the same source. We all came from the same tree. And it's just like my hope that we can use this opportunity right now to get such a bigger picture of what's really going on, and to kind of remember that our identities, like who we are is not what we do, who we are is not what, like how much money we have in the bank account, who we are is not how much degrees that we have. Who we are is what you are. Like what are you? Ask yourself that question throughout the day. Like what am I? Like I'm not Miko, I'm not this Asian woman, I'm not 23, I'm not a girl and living in California. If I'm none of those things, like what am I? And I encourage you guys to ask that question, like what are you, right? So, and then totally forgot where I was going with this. There was another thought that I wanted to share in regards to this topic, but I totally lost it. I had it before coming on here, but are you guys like hearing what I'm saying right now? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the thoughts below, like in the comments. Yeah, I don't see any other comments coming in. So, oh yeah, I mentioned this at the beginning of like the week. Like now with a lots of hi, is it Alan? Sorry you guys, I'm just butchering names today. Please forgive me. But I mentioned that this week is really the week that there are like people are deciding which direction they're headed. There's one direction where people are continuing down this path where they are embracing the duality mentality. Duality mentality is me versus them. It's this or that. I can only have this or that. It's a very like black or white situation. And then there is another direction where people are deciding that they are embracing the unity consciousness, the wholeness consciousness. There's the gray area where you can have both this and that, right? And you also get to embrace the good and the bad parts of yourself. And I really had to, like, I started to notice how much of that was showing up in my own personal life. Like this happens at so many levels, right? It happens at the individual level, and it happens at the global level, at the community level. But for me personally, I'm speaking from my own experience, how this was showing up, where I get to decide, am I going to continue to embrace the duality mentality, or am I going to come into wholeness and embrace the unity consciousness? Is from things like this whole week I have came to this place where I truly felt this amazing sense of unconditional love for the inner shadow parts of myself, like the not so good parts of myself, that I just somehow started to feel such a deep love for those parts of myself that I don't think it's good enough, or I didn't feel that it was perfect, or whatever that is. Like I was embracing the yin and the yang of that symbol, right? Like the dark and the light at the same time. And it just feels so amazing, because like the only problems out there really are is that your perception, that whatever that negative thing is a problem. That's the only problem that is. It's your perception that whatever that thing is not okay, right? If we can just let go of that, that's releasing the resistance. Like if you can accept everything as perfect as they are, then you are letting go of the resistance, and that same resistance is actually blocking your flow to money, to happiness, to a good feeling body. Like that is a block. Like it's a little energetic block that blocks everything that you want in your life. So it's all about letting go of the resistance, and you let go of resistance by embracing the good and the bad parts of you, like embracing the unity consciousness. So that was really showing up for me all week this week. And then like on a global level, it's just really like it comes back down to us remembering the truth that we all came from the same tree trunk. Like each of us are just like a branch from the same tree, right? We all came from the same source. We all came from the same source, guys. Like if we just remember this, all of those fighting against each other, all of those things like I am this group of people and you are this group of people, and then we're separate, like all of that are just nonsense that were taught to you from a very early age on. But now, like it doesn't matter what was taught to you at a young age. Like it is your responsibility now that you have the consciousness, you have the awareness to decide something else for yourself, right? Like you don't need to be stuck in the same limiting way of thinking or the limited way of being for the rest of your life. Like you get to decide, this is it. I don't want to embrace this like me versus them mentality anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to embrace everyone as like we're all in this together. We're all oneness, right? You get to decide, and it's your responsibility to do so. So that's all I want to share with you guys today. I didn't get questions again, but that's all good. All right, guys. I am sending so much love from my heart to you. Breathe that in, breathe that love in, and release any resistance or tension in your body. And just really feel that love, really feel that gratitude. My heart is just so full, so full, so full. Like I'm just catching so many more moments now throughout the day where I'm just so content, like just so deeply content, exactly where I'm at. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate and love each and every single one of you. Let me know what showed up for you in the comments below. And then if this resonated with you, please share with anyone in your life that you feel like could benefit. Sharing is caring. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow morning at Rise and Shine.